artists just like it, because if you work with us, they have less work.
Then what are the different strategies you have to communicate with the clients from different backgrounds?
There is no strategy. There's just, I think, what I like most about, for example, we have an artist like Steve Aoki. He's everywhere, and you just can't grab him. Like, he doesn't sleep, he's always in the plane, he's just literally everywhere. It's impossible to set up a shooting with a GQ cover for him. So how do you make PR with him? Okay, then we're like, okay, maybe we focus on content and talk to his team to produce more content which we can spread, instead of doing the old-fashioned way, GQ cover, award and photo shootings. But then you have this super TikTok megastar who wants to expose everything, because he's in his early 20s and he just loves it, and he's a millennial, which is also a huge difference between artists who are millennials and artists who are not. And with him it's super easy. Sometimes you have to be like, okay, don't expose too much, or we don't do this and that. We just wait until the release and then set up another curve of marketing and promotion. But for them it's more difficult to understand. And then you have those brands who come around the corner with a super short notice and want everything to be done by yesterday. And then my strategy is always like, okay, give us a proper brief, and everybody calms down, and there's always a solution for everything. And I think what's the bottom line of all strategies is to remain calm.
So PR is important, right? But sometimes the whole project might not work out, even if the marketing strategy is great because of the content itself. How do you foresee whether the content has possibility or not?
It's so funny. I just realized I never had that situation. I think because of us doing so much research ahead and asking so many inconvenient questions, we block out those projects and artists where we know, oh, that's gonna be difficult. For example, we turned down to work with Johnny Depp and Alice Cooper a year ago, because I said, okay, you still have this, he still has this ongoing court case about domestic violence that will always backfire to us, and our agency is supporting Google on women empowerment, so that doesn't fit, so we're just turning it down. So we try to be ahead of bad results by really scanning and analyzing before you take on a project how you scale it, if it's going to be successful or not. I mean, there are beautiful other cases where we just like an artist so much and everybody's like, why do you like him? And we're like, okay, we like him for this reason and that reason, he's so talented and you should give it a try. And then people are like, okay, we'll listen to you, because we never do newcomers, right? But if we do a newcomer, people are listening. And then you get cool features. It always works in both ways. So.
Okay. That's interesting. Does any of you guys have any questions?
Turning down Mr. Depp, that takes balls. Whatever the equivalent is. I think that's very that's pretty amazing. That's not a question, it's just a comment. You know, that you really, you know, things that maybe other agencies would say, wow, oh, Johnny Depp is calling, I can't turn that down. That you actually, you know, look at it and you can afford to turn them down.
Yeah, and I thought in the end it would have backfired to our agency, because we wouldn't have been able to continue the goal of women empowerment and doing this hashtag Be Remarkable for Google. And I thought that is more important than having Johnny Depp on our client roster. And so I wasn't even emotional about it. I mean, I just realized when my team, some ladies from my team were like, he would have come to Germany, he would have done interviews. I'm like, yeah, so what? And then they're like, that would have been so cool. And I'm like, no. But maybe it just comes, I'm in the business for over 20 years. I've seen I work with so many artists, and I've seen so many celebrities. And actually, if you scratch on the surface, sometimes there's really not much left inside. So I'm really not getting hyped up by names. And then, of course, it also works the other way. And there are people who think like, okay, they're just those people. And then you end up having a dinner and having an incredible, great conversation. And I always learn from it, never to underestimate somebody. So yeah, it's always interesting to see, but I'm very unemotional when big people call me up, because I think, okay, a job is a job, so it's like a Lego brick. It's like a Lego brick calling me, saying, okay.
So is that, what I'm hearing is that you operate on an incredible level of integrity. I mean, there's no other way of saying it, where you say, okay, I call the bullshit, I'd say the inconvenient truth, I turn down things that could be, business. And on the other hand, the cliche of, the pop music industry, if you could put in any attribute, but I wouldn't put integrity, the concept of integrity wouldn't come to my mind.
Never underestimate the pop business.
Yeah.
Thank you. I never thought about it, because it just when I founded this agency, I wanted to make a difference. So I thought the easiest thing is just to stay with yourself. So I only took on clients I really like, because that's the luxury when you have your own agency at a record company. You just have to do everything. Even if you don't like a certain type of music, you have to do it. I mean, for me, it was a great learning, because I was so stuck up in my hip-hop world that I didn't like alternative music. But then I was forced to listen to alternative. So I was forced to prep the marketing campaign for the Gorillaz with Blur. And then I was so fascinated by Damon Albarn, because I think he is totally underestimated. Like, he's an amazing singer-songwriter. He's an amazing composer. And he's so brave enough. I mean, Blur was doing so much money. It was one of the hottest bands at that time. And then coming up with this crazy idea, okay, I do a comic with the friends, and we're comics singing our song. EMI almost declined that project, which is nowadays one of their best projects ever. So being forced to work with something you don't like also opened up my horizon, because I thought, okay, that music is actually not so bad. So it's maybe also not too good only to listen to hip hop. I mean, because there's bad hip hop as well. So it was really nice to see also how alternative music is really based on really, like, you have to play an instrument. In hip hop, it's more you create the beat on a computer. In alternative music, you play the guitar, you play the drums. It's such a different dynamic. Also, live entertainment is on a different level than a rap artist on stage. So I'm really grateful I had this opportunity to dive all into the different music genres and then find out. And I think that's why also KIMKOM is having this big variety of artists. Like, we work with Kiss, we work with Paul McCartney, but we also work with the classical piano player Lang Lang. So and people are like, why are you doing Lang Lang? I'm like, hello, why am I doing Lang Lang? I mean, I grew up playing the piano, I adore him, and he's one of the very few Asian artists who are accepted in Europe. Of course I have to do this. And then people are like, oh, no, you're saying it, I get it. I'm like, okay, thank you for the conversation, and thank you for asking, because it never crosses their minds. So, yeah, I wanted to make a difference, and it starts with making good choices. And if that ends up being called integrity, I'm really happy, but it was never intended to become an agency with integrity. I thought I always want to look in the mirror and say, I like what my agency is doing. Like, every day for 10 years, I really can say, I like what my agency is doing. And we also fire clients. I mean, we fired this festival, this New Horizon Festival, because the premiere was great, we had an amazing CFO, we had an amazing marketing chief, and during the project it was really, really tough, but everything went super well. As soon as the festival ended, the CFO was gone, the marketing head was gone, and then new people were coming, and I just didn't feel the vibe. I'm like, okay, you know what, I just loved the old team so much, and it seems like you're not getting the picture of where we're going, what we're doing, how to improve it, so we're not gonna work for you anymore. And I mean, having a festival as a client is like winning a lottery, because festivals take place every year, especially if they want to expand, especially if it happens to be an EDM music festival with EDM rising so high, with all the coolest DJs being at one place. But I thought, no, it just killed my team. And I'm like, okay, I want a happy team. That's my focus. Like, I don't want unhappy employees. I want people who like to come to work. I love the fact that I think Angela is already working like 6 years for my agency. And find this in Berlin. Find somebody who's stuck with you just for such a long time. And I just love that my employees say, okay, we're really happy, or that freelancers say, we love working with them. We pay in time, we say thank you. It's really the basics what we do, super basics. But meanwhile in agency life, because the pressure is so high, sometimes people forget about it. So
who do you have working in your agency? Do you have any designers?
No, only on freelance base.
Okay. So the backgrounds of the people working from you, or they're like?
It's really fun. We get many emails from all over Europe from people who want to work with us. Yeah, I think my SEO programmer did a terrific job, because sometimes I'm like, where are these coming from Barcelona or from London? And of course everybody wants to come to Berlin. But actually, I'm picking the people. Like before I called up Angela, I did background researches on her. I called journalists, I called her former colleagues. I treated her like a new client. I just like did the background infos, and then we met, and then it was just a perfect fit. And since then, it's really nice.
What do you look for when you do like background research on employees?
I'm looking for somebody who I'm looking for somebody who I learn from. B, I'm looking for somebody who's not similar to my other employees. And C, I'm looking for someone who's willing to do hands-on work, which is really difficult because most of the people just want to meet celebrities, and that's not what the job is about. The job is about calculating, it's about strategy, it's about research. It's pretty unsexy apart from this red carpet business, but it's really, you're on the computer, and I mean, that's what I like about my employees. They say, you're challenging us. I'm like, yeah, I have to get you out of the comfort zone, because otherwise it's boring, right? I want you to find new things. Sometimes I really mix up teams, because the teams who work for Google, I'm like, okay, now you're doing a strategy on the millennial. And they're like, this is something I've never done before. I'm like, yeah, exactly, and that's why you should do it. Like, I really want them to learn because life is not like a planned thing where everything's so foreseeable. I want them to have fun also as well. And the greatest thing is, the guy who was supposed to be to do social media, it turns out he's an amazing copywriter. And I'm like, okay, sorry, but social media work is like, okay, I would prefer you as a copywriter. And he's like, yeah, thank you, that's something I never thought. I was so insecure. I'm like, you have such a beautiful writing, I love it so much. It's just, please, please, please think about it. And I totally see your future there. And I like it that they're open for it, because it's not a critic thing, but I think I wish I would have had somebody in my youth who would have challenged me more, instead of always finding, what will I do? What should I want? Like, I'm always the first person. I'm the first person in my family who grew up in Europe. I'm the first person who graduated. Like, it's just, you're always a pioneer. And now with 43, I accept the role as